Hello, you're listening to another review from the Danjo Film Show. This is a review that we've not done on the podcast. It's a film that's just come out on Netflix on Friday, May 22nd, and it's called The Lovebirds. It's directed by Michael Shawwalter and stars Issa Rae and Kamal Nanjiani, who we've known from Kamal from The Big Sick, Stupa from last year. Issa Rae we know from a TV series called Insecure, which I've not seen, and also Little from last year as well, and The Photograph, which I love this year, really, really good. And basically the story is, you've kind of seen it before, they play a couple, they've been together 4 or 5 years, starts off like every relationship, they're madly in love with each other, they go on walks on beaches, they go on dates, and they just think the whole world is amazing. 4 years later, it's not so much that. They're finding a real pitfall in their relationship. They're arguing a lot over silly little things. And basically they experience a defining moment in their relationship when they are unintentionally embroiled in a murder mystery plot. And they're basically, the rest of the film, they've got to try and figure out who is behind this and how do they clear their name. Netflix, interesting story. It was meant to be released in cinemas, which I had no idea about. Meant to be released start of April, and obviously that has not happened. So it was weird to see the Netflix logo and then the Paramount logo. I was like, this is very strange. It's like the first time that's ever happened. So I'm a big fan of these two leads. I think they're so funny. And I think the one real positive about this film is that just they have undeniable chemistry. They are so funny together. And, they just seem like the two people that would go out, like just two best friends, go out in a club or go out and party. And you really buy into their relationship a lot. The chemistry and their humor and their banter is just fantastic to watch. I've got to be honest, I felt like they could have spent a lot longer in their kind of developing their relationship at the start. We have a very short montage, which is supposed to span 4 years. And for me, it just didn't work. I think they should have spent a lot more time on their relationship and on the romantic elements of the film, because I think at the end of the day, that's the strongest parts of the movie. And actually what the film how it comments and what it says about relationships, I thought it was really intelligent and very kind of thought-provoking. There's a scene where they're like recording their first date, and they said, do you remember that couple next to us who just didn't talk the whole way through? Wow, they were really miserable. And he said, well, maybe they were just comfortable with each other. And things like that, were very poignant. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting. However, you throw them into a very generic, by the numbers, buddy cop action film. We've seen it time and time again. We saw it with Stuba last year. And I just think it's great because it gives them the vehicle to be funny, and it puts them in all these really strange circumstances and situations. There's a great scene where they have to go to a theater and they're wearing masks. I think that's a really great scene. But it just becomes so predictable. I could tell what was going to happen at the end. And it's disappointing because I think maybe they should have just done a film about their relationship, about the ups and downs in a relationship, because there is chemistry there, there's no denying, and they are both talented leads. Unfortunately, the film decides to kind of throw this really, like I said, generic action storyline that we've seen time and time again. They've got to clear their name. Are they guilty? Are the cops going to help them? And so, yeah, that was just disappointing for me. However, I think it was very watchable. I enjoyed it. Very short, 85 minutes. I don't know whether I would go and see it in the cinema. I think they've made a good move put it on Netflix. I think it's suited on Netflix for me. But no denying, Issa Rae and Kamal Nanjiani are fantastic. I can't wait to see where they go in their career. So, yeah, enjoyed it. Just not maybe as great as I would have hoped. What did you think, Joe?
I would pretty much say I agree with you on every one of those points, Dan.
Great.
I think the fact that the last film we saw on Netflix, which was a rom-com, was The Wrong Missy, this is just a masterpiece compared to The Wrong Missy, okay? This is how romantic comedies should be done. The Wrong Missy had at its centre these two really irritating, dull characters, which just grated on me the whole time, and the romance was just unbelievable. With The Lovebirds, you're absolutely spot on. What you do have are these two lovely central performances. I'm a very big fan of Kamal Nanjiani. I think he's great in almost everything he does. Even something like Stuba, which wasn't the best. Again, him and Dave Bautista had enough chemistry to make it work. And I think the same applies here. The two leads are so fantastic and the chemistry is so present all the way through that it's impossible not to kind of warm up to them, be charmed by them, and to want to go on this journey with them. I think you're right. I think the kind of plot, the kind of murder mystery kind of story that they go on with, where the kind of relationship comes to a head, I do think that's all a bit flimsy. It is very flimsy, and a lot of the time it is sort of spent. The best parts of the movie are the parts where they kind of discussing the relationship, how things were, how they are now. And I think that's very relatable to a lot of people. A lot of people will look at the subjects that they talk about in terms of the relationship through the movie, and they'll be able to relate to that. And I think that's another great kind of bonus for the movie. But when the movie has to kind of deviate and go to those sort of, okay, the main plot line, which is like the murder, I think it does suffer a little bit. Like there's this sequence in a barn which isn't really necessary. It's funny, but it isn't necessary. And I think you're right. I think this could have worked just as well as a kind of stripped down rom-com about two characters maybe just having one last day of their relationship, so to speak, and they're discussing the kind of where the relationship started, where it is now. So I do agree that it could have worked just as well there, and the plot line, as entertaining as it is somewhat flimsy. I agree with you. Weirdly, as much as I enjoyed the film, and I enjoyed it a lot more than something like The Wrong Missy, I think if it had been shown in the cinema, it wouldn't have sat quite right with me. I think you're right. I think they've made a good decision. COVID has kind of gotten in the way of its cinema release, and if anything, I think it will serve the film better than if it'd been released in the cinemas, because as a cinematic entry, I think it wouldn't have worked. I think the visuals are very televisual, so it's nice because seeing it on the television, I didn't feel like I was necessarily missing out on the cinematic experience, unlike something like, say, Extraction, which I think would have been fantastic on the big screen. So I think, I agree with you completely. I think if you're looking for something to wash the bad taste of The Wrong Missy out of your mouth, this should do it. This should do it because it's really, really sweet. It's got two lovely performances, really funny actors, the pair of them, and a very kind of authentic, well-meaning kind of love story in there, which I think a lot of people will be able to relate to. It flies by, like you said, it's an hour, 20 minutes. It doesn't overstay its welcome at all. And I just thought it was charming and really lovely. And like I said, I hate to go on about it, but after The Wrong Missy the week before, I really needed something like this to cheer me up. So I think if you're looking for a kind of date night movie while in lockdown, something which isn't going to be too demanding, I think this is perfect for you. And I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, just to clarify, it's certainly better than The Wrong Missy.
I was going to say, so did you prefer it to The Wrong Missy?
I did, and it puts everything into context now. I feel like I was in a dark place reviewing that movie. I was desperate. Please forgive me. It is. It's a classy movie. It's much more classy, and you're right. I think the two leads are so much more talented. I didn't hate The Wrong Missy as much as you. I know you didn't like it at all. But yeah, definitely, I hope this does better, because The Wrong Missy is still doing pretty well. It's in the top 10, and I hope the Lovebirds kind of, flies itself over to the number one spot, because it deserves to. So,
absolutely.
Great minds think alike again. Let us know if you've seen the Lovebirds on Netflix. It's available now, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, comment, like, and share for more videos. And we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.